Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Otaku Social Club. I am one of your co-hosts, joined here by my boy, the real Honey Bear. I'm Z-Boy Wonder. I am a full-time content creator. We're kind of going through this one more time, moving forward. I don't know if we'll be continuing dropping down all these details about us, but I do stream primarily on Twitch. You can also catch me making content over on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and all of those good things as well. I play strategy games, I play first-person shooters, and I also do some esports commentating. Honey Bear, what do you got about you, my man?
What's up, everybody? I'm the real Honey Bear. Most people just call me Honey Bear or Bear, or, sometimes I get the satisfaction of feel like a grown man calls me Honey. Yeah, the weird satisfaction from that. But met Z-Boy playing some teamfight tactics. I love TFT. I love all Riot games. Big Pokemon fan. Collect a lot of Pokemon cards. Lost a lot of money doing Pokemon cards. And now I'm here to talk about anime because that is what I do in all of my free time.
I feel like we all lose money playing Pokemon. By playing, I mean collecting. I've never really played it too much. A little bit here and there. I've dabbled. I
heard. No, this might come as a shock to you. I heard this, a little while ago. It's actually a card game.
Oh,
it's not just collectibles.
It's a TCG trading card game. Interesting.
Wild, right?
Interesting. Yeah. The only thing I know about Pokemon is that our top 3 waifus last week ended up being the starter 3. Kind of crazy. If you guys missed episode 2, we did dive in on Mushoku Tensei, and if it is in fact the best isekai ever. And talking about best, we might be talking about the best anime ever today. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood? Probably one of the most heated debates.
It's definitely up there. I mean, I don't think I've ever heard a debate that doesn't have it.
Right? My anime list, it's the number 1 anime. That could be because of all of the fans just going crazy. It's almost like a cult following, but we'll get into that a little bit more when we get to our main topic, our main discussion. What we got here, though, for you guys is the top 5 list of best characters in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You want to start us off there, Honey Bear?
Absolutely. I'm going to start us off. It's best characters, right? Not best waifus?
No, best characters overall, not just waifus.
Same thing, right?
Yes.
Same thing. All right, best characters. Number 5, Edward Elric, which is very low on the list, but Edward Elric, my number 5 for you.
I feel like at some point we got to start putting the MCs a little higher on our list because number 5, Edward Elric, my man.
That's quite funny. How are our lists the same all the time?
I don't know.
Number 4, Roy Mustang.
4 is a little low for that guy in my opinion, but also number 4, Envy.
Great pick for number 4. My 3 is also a villain. Spoiler alert. King Bradley. King Bradley is my number 3.
King Bradley's up there for you.
King Bradley's up there.
Dang, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. My number 3 is also still another villain, Greed.
Greed,
dude, I love Greed.
I freaking love it, man.
I love Greed, man.
Love to hate Greed. Number 2, fan favorite, I think. I'm gonna go with the fan favorite. Winry. Winry number 2.
Winry.
Okay,
and number 2 for you is Winry. My number 2 is Roy Mustang. I love the Fire Alchemist, man. He is awesome.
Let's go. Honorable mentions. My honorable mentions. Alphonse, which sadly, he falls at number 6. Scar, an amazing honorable mention there. I don't know why you would not put Scar on the list.
Yeah.
And then with you, Envy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that.
I like
that. That's pretty good. I like your honorable mentions. I have Hawkeye.
Yes.
I have Lust.
Okay.
I'm a Lust fan. I won't lie. I like Full Metal. The villains really stand out for me. I'm a big villains fan. See, and I thought that this would be where Winry fell for my last honorable mention. But it's got to be Armstrong, dude. It's got to be the big man. It's got to be the flexing muscles, dude. He's a beast.
That's a solid honorable mention. But you know what's better than all the honorable mentions?
Let's hear it.
My number one pick, Alex Louis Armstrong.
Oh,
Mr. Flex himself.
Armstrong!
Best
Let's
character
go.
in the entire
Let's
show.
go. Let's
That's a
go.
legend.
Love that. Love that. Well, my number one, it's crazy. Our lists were very similar this week. This is crazy. But my number one, as I said, I love the villains, is Scar.
Yes.
Love Scar,
Yes.
dude. Scar is so epic.
Great pick there.
Thank
Scar's
you.
actually Scar's the last person I put on the list.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, Scar's been like my favorite character in anime for a long time. It dates back to Warcraft 3 Frozen Throne custom maps. There was this game mode called Anime Wars. And Scar was so broken in it because you just like would walk up to people once you hit level 6 and got your ult, and you just one-shot him with his ability. You just walk up, and you just destroy people. It was sick. Loved it. That game was awesome.
Hey, we're gonna have villain talk here. But before we dive into the villains, what is with us in dropping the main characters down the list?
I mean,
They're such good characters too. Like both of them.
If we were
Alphonse and
discussing,
Edric are both very, very good.
if we were discussing more sword art, I would actually say top one for me is Kirito
Okay.
for like character in the show in general,
Yeah.
and then Asuna would probably be right there too.
Yep. Okay.
Like
That's fair.
I love them so much. Like Sinon starts to come in a little bit for me, but yeah, like I think Heathcliff even like starts to like trope everybody or top everybody else for me because of the harem tropes that kind of happen. I just don't.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't see all the other characters as equal outside of Sinon because she gets her own arc with Kirito.
That's fair.
And Alice. Like once we get to the Aliceization, Alice is pretty high up there. But yeah, that's like one of the few animes where like MC really stands out for me. Outside of that, Bleach, I'm a huge Ichigo fan, but he'd still probably only be like top 3. And who knows, maybe we'll get a list in there someday too, and you guys already got a spoiler for me. Spoilers! Speaking about spoilers, we actually had the community vote for our anime of the week conversation this week because Honey Bear and I just, we were a little lackluster last week for those of you that kept us on our honesty here. But this week, we let you guys pick, and you guys all chose Death Note.
Death Note.
The
second best anime of all time.
I mean, it's definitely got to be in consideration, right?
Definitely. Yeah. So for hopefully if you've not seen Death Note, you caught up on it. If not, this is going to be spoiler central. One of the greatest plot twists in all of anime. So please, if you have not seen it, do not watch this episode. Please step away and go watch the anime. Because it is one of the greatest plot twists, and which makes it one of the greatest anime of all time. And kind of where I want to start is, do you think one of the things that's stopping it from being the greatest anime of all time is post-L death?
Oh, man, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, actually. I think that if we ended the anime when L dies, that might be best anime ever. Deadass. It's that good.
I think so.
It's that good. Everything that comes after that, all the freaking nonsense with like Nier and all of that stuff is just like too much. It's too much. It doesn't have a place in my mind. I just end the anime at L. Everyone that watches Death Note, I just tell them, just stop watching it as soon as you see L die.
Yeah, I think after L dies, it does need a finish. You have to finish the anime. But I honestly think you can finish it in one episode.
Well, can't we just have L die, right? And then like Kirito and Misa just run off into the sunlight together, killing everybody?
Light, you mean?
Kira?
You said Kirito.
No, I said Kira.
Kira,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Light. Light.
Could.
Yagami.
Yagami!
Yagami!
Yeah, I mean, I think you gotta have an episode to clear up a lot of the storylines of like who else is chasing him. Are they cutting it down? Are they who's replacing L, if you will? Is that organization shut down? Like what is going to happen in the world from this point forward, I think needs to be addressed, and they did that.
I think the best way to do it is Ryuk just writes him in a book and ends it there. It's like, well, this was fascinating. Now it's your turn to find your best friend, right? Like writes in the book, Light's name. And like we watch Misa and Rin's just pumped about it because Kira dies. I feel like Light and Kira are two different characters, like very much a Gemini-esque trait. And maybe that's just because I'm a Gemini, so I see it like that. but
Okay.
he's two different people 100%. I feel like
100%.
Light has this side to him that is interested in Elle, wants to try to have that friendship, kind of a shallow dude, honestly. And then Kira is just like outgoing, maniacal, malicious human being that's trying to go on this self-virtue, righteous crusade of making the world a better place, right?
Yeah.
Feel free to
I
disagree.
fully agree with that.
Okay.
Fully agree. Yeah, I think they do it. I think that is one of the main reasons it's so good too, right?
Yeah.
Is the characters are just so relatable. You're like, holy cow, this guy is out here trying to change the world. On one side, and then his worldly desires on the other side, and the fact that he started as a loser, and now has all this power, and it's like, what do you do with all that power? But he's still at the heart of him. He's like, wait, this L character, like, I see myself in him. We could be best friends.
Like, I think Elle might be one of the best anime characters ever. I think that's what carries the show. Yeah,
could be. Like, if not the objectively, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I would put him on my list of favorite characters, but best, absolutely. He's one of the most well-written characters of all time.
The fact that they give us a mystery anime that is mystery thriller has so much good for it. The whole part where we see the helicopter scene when Light has got rid of his own memory, that is one of the greatest plot twists in anime history, in my opinion.
Correct.
Like, it's so good. That episode is what reels everybody in.
Yep.
And it just puts you on your, like, the first time you watch that, even when you go back and watch it for the 100th time, it's still good. Not as good, but it's still good.
Yeah. Because you see the flip, right? You see the twist of he's like, oh, this is just a kid. This is a high school kid that's like, he's in trouble. He needs help.
Right.
And then gets his memory, right back. And it's like, oh, snap.
Right. Like, it just is so amazing. And that's where you see that double-edged, like, sides of Light and Kira. So good.
Yeah. Do you think if, with your ending, which I love, by the way, Ryuk writes his name in, do you think if they had that ending, do you think he drops the Death Note again?
Yeah, I do. And that's what sets us up for a second season, which has been talked about, actually being rumored that we might get a season 2.
That would be...
But it would just be Ryuk.
That would be hype, but man, that might put a damper on it. Like,
how do they tie in Kira, right? Have you seen Death Parade by chance?
Yes.
And how Kira has the cameo in it?
Yep.
Kira doesn't go down and doesn't go up. I don't know if you caught that.
I don't know, man. I didn't.
So
I didn't pay too much attention to it.
Sure. So there's the elevator, obviously, right? That, like, decides your fate. That's, like, kind of the premise of the show.
Yes. Yep.
When Kira goes in, Light doesn't go a direction. It just stays there, and that's the end of the episode. So what if we had Light become a Shinigami? That's the thing that my brain started thinking about. Like, would season 2 be Light dropping the Death Note and coming back to the real world?
Would Light drop the Death Note?
I don't know. I don't
think he would.
Or is Light, or is like a parallel universe type of thing where we're starting to see Light try to become like the king of the Shinigami, right? The overlord, essentially.
He might. I don't know. Cool, I don't know what his character would do, because he's on a quote unquote righteous mission, right? Like, his goal was to rid the world of disgusting bad people.
Right.
Was his original goal. He did a lot of
questionable stuff. Yeah.
Which is fair. I mean, that's his character development, and how it was. But does he keep that path of trying to be righteous if he ever came back? But Ryuk, I think he drops the book 100% because he's bored.
Agreed.
Like, the whole story was because Ryuk was bored.
Right, and I love that. I love that premise.
Yes.
It keeps it modest in a way where we're like, oh, that's super relatable. I can stick with that. This is awesome. And I'm not trying to, like, poop all over the ending. I think the ending is good. It's fine, right? It's not amazing. And that's where it gets dropped from being best anime ever, I think. I think a lot of people have it on their top 10 list because it does introduce people to anime very, very well. But you don't get the ending punch that you get with, well, Full Metal. Full Metal does a really good job at tying things together, has way better world building, has better villains technically, And ultimately, the character development is top notch. I mean, the only anime that I can think of off the top of my head, if I was just spitballing right here, that has character development as good as Full Metal in terms of true development and understanding is probably Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Hunter x Hunter up there as well.
I think that's gonna be up there.
Yeah.
Give me a rank for Death Note. What would you rank it out of 10 if you had to?
9.7.
Okay.
I think
the
it's that
whole
good.
anime?
Yeah, I think it's that good.
Okay.
Even with the ending, because like you said, you have to have an ending.
Yep, you have to have an ending.
Yeah.
I think I would give it a straight 10. Perfect anime up until L dies. And I think I would give it a 7 after that. I don't think they're weighted equally though.
That's fair.
So I'd give it a 9.5.
Yeah,
just because I don't think they're weighted equally. I think the 10 way out is heavier.
Yeah.
If you will, it's longer, it's more, it's better. It's yeah. So 9.5 is what I would give it, but definitely, and that's my personal opinion. That's not even an objective opinion.
All right. So if this video gets 1,000 likes, Honey Bear will get a 9.5 tattooed on his body.
Absolutely. Right on my tongue.
You don't have any tattoos, right, my man?
No.
I was like, that doesn't really like fit, right?
Piercing.
But yeah, obviously I only have one tattoo. It's anime themed. Love it. It's my boys, freaking Squirtle, Gyarados, but it's a crossover from Demon Slayer with the Tanja Squirtle. Summoning the Gyarados. We love to see it. Shout outs to Adrian Novo for absolutely crushing this piece on my entire right calf. It's part of me now. Forever. Always will be. Love it. So, Honey Bear.
Adrian Novo, the sponsor of this episode?
I wish that was the case, because if he was, then maybe I could get a discount on my second tattoo. We're just giving that man a massive shout out. This episode is actually going to be segued into probably our next sponsor, and that's going to be something that we're leaving a little hidden. Honey Bear and I still have to actually talk about that on the back end. I haven't let him know on what I've been really mixing up lately. But if you guys have any sponsors that's looking into things, I've just been busy, man. Okay, I've been playing too much Counter-Strike. Let's be honest. You know what I've been doing. I've been playing too much Counter-Strike. You've been being a good husband and dad. It's just been one of those weeks. It's how it is. It's all good though. It's all good though. Shout out to NA Regionals for TFT. We all know we're huge TFT fans in here. That's what it's all about. Honey Bear's over there blowing his nose or something, shooting snot rockets while he's muting his mic. We love to see it.
That's right.
So you ready to dive into this?
I should have left that in.
Oh, no worries. I mean, we're about it here. Bodily fluids are making us human, man. That's what Death Note's all about. But enough about Death Note. It's time to talk about what might be the greatest anime ever in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
My good, you actually sounded like Lawrence for a second.
Oh.
Did you know this is Lawrence's favorite anime?
I did, actually. Yeah. Shout out to Lawrence, our boy.
Yep. Big shout out to Lawrence.
Without Lawrence, we
is
didn't
actually
connect.
named Winry.
Yeah, his dog is named Winry. I asked when he said, Winry, and I was like, are you a Full Metal fan? He's like, not only am I a Full Metal fan, I live Full Metal. And I was like, wait, what does that mean?
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, me either. I'm wondering if he's...
All right.
I'll be finding out because we're rooming in Vegas, so maybe he'll show up in the Alphon suit. I'll be like, whoa, bro, what's going on with that, bro?
Just walks in a suit of armor. Hey, guys.
I'm the judge of this event. Try passing me, Lorenzo.
Like, how did you get through TSA with that?
I mean, it's not a weapon.
Is it not? I mean,
I don't know, man. Maybe Lawrence seems like a pretty chill dude. He's like kind of sloth-like. I know because I'm kind of sloth-like, so I don't think it's that bad. Mm-hmm. He's got to be chilling.
Do sloths stick together?
We do. That's how we keep each other safe. I mean, when I run down to poop, he's got to be watching. When he runs down to poop, I got to be watching.
Absolutely.
It's a poops eats poops. Wait a second. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Poops world.
Yeah. Is it poop or cake? I don't know.
Try it and tell me.
Anyways.
All right. So Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I'll just go out on a limb right now and say, yes, it is the greatest anime of all time.
Dang. You're one of those.
Straight up say, yes, it is. It is not my favorite anime of all time, but it is the greatest anime of all time. With character development, with the power system, the villains. We didn't even get to talk on the villains yet. And it has some of the greatest, not the greatest, but some of them, plot twists in all of anime.
And even in some of like short-term media, or long form media, I think it can go toe to toe with some of the best of the best. I think we could actually put Full Metal Alchemist up there with shows like Game of Thrones, up there with shows like Sopranos, and people are going to be flaming us for it, and that's what we want. These are our hot takes. And if you don't feel that way, you got to let us know. That's the only way. You got to dethrone us, okay?
I think if they flame us, they're just wrong. Like, it's up there. It's one of the greatest media of all time.
Yeah, I agree. It's not a film. We're talking about this in series, one of the greatest series ever made. I think the only thing that's even came close to rivaling it in modern times, in terms of anime at least, and man, this is my hot take and why I think it's not the best anime ever made, because I do think that this one, if it does do what I'm hoping it does for me, I know manga readers are out there trying to burn the dude at the stake. This man's cried at his own freaking panel at New York City Anime Con. Attack on Titan. I think that's up there, man. For me, at least. I love Attack on Titan. I love it. And I think it's really, really good. It's helped me turn non-believers of anime into anime fan after anime fan after anime fan. It's helped me turn dub watchers into sub watchers because they were like, man, I can't wait. I can't keep waiting. But then also they drag their feet long enough. So if you are a dub watcher, you're probably caught up by now. Anywho's talking about dub watchers. That's my boy Honey Bear over there.
I've been caught up for like 2 years.
Yeah, true. Sure have.
I'm thankful you went that route. I thought you were gonna go the Gojo route. Holy cow, why am I blanking on that?
Oh, you thought I was gonna go Jujutsu Kaisen? We don't even have enough. We don't even have enough of it, bro.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna let you do this. Like, I don't think you have a leg to stand on. You do you.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can even go with Jujutsu Kaisen yet. We don't have enough content. Though this week's episode was freaking banger, and I'm leaving it there. Nothing else. No spoilers there because it is currently running. And one thing that we're always going to try to stay true to on this show, if a series has not finished its season entirely, we can't be spoiling it. I think that's wrong. Nope. I don't want to ruin people's time because if they're waiting to binge something, I'm not trying to take you into it. Now, if the series has completed, that's on you, not on us.
Especially years.
Yeah.
Especially years.
Yeah. Agreed.
So,
agreed. Let's jump into the power system,
maybe even a week
honey.
or two, but it's like, hey, if you didn't catch up, sorry.
Yep. Agreed. My boy, you got the power system down to a freaking science. I need to hear your theories, your philosophies, everything you got for us. This is one of the main key points that makes this show better than the rest.
Yes, the power system. So I wanted to talk about just the sheer balance of the power system and I guess the human aspect of it, if you will. So not only is it designed in a way to where you can just learn your way into it, essentially, right? It's a knowledge-based power system. There has to be some skill that you acquire, whatnot and what forth, and maybe you have some luck with it. All right, maybe you gotta get away from God in order to be able to do some of the things. But the power system in and of itself is one of the most balanced power systems ever created.
Agreed.
I think a lot of the power systems are trying to catch up to this,
right? And
say like, hey, we want to bring the new thing that is balanced, and it's just so hard to do,
right?
So many overpowered characters, so many plot twists that give just random powers that kind of come out of thin air, right? But this
plot
system,
armor.
you have to start at 0 and work your way up. Edward and Alphonse Elric had to work from nothing and just study their butts off to get to where they were. Yep. And that is the only reason they have their powers.
On top of that,
that's pretty awesome.
It's one of the few times where we see MCs not have like true plot armor, right? Now,
yes.
They don't die necessarily, but I mean, Alphonse is pretty close to freaking dead, man.
Yeah.
Pretty close to dead. He's a soul inside of a body. Suit of armor, right? That's pretty close to dead. And that's like right where we get started with. We lose our mom. This really actually segues us into what could be next week's episode if we go this route, which could be, is there a new big 3? Because this sets up that whole idea of tragedy. We lose our mom. So many bad things happen to these boys before we even get to know them that you just can't help but feel sorry for them.
Yes.
Another thing that I do want to touch note on that we did get from chat here is it is actually such a strong power system that I think it might even supersede anime itself and start being compared to the realms of Lord of the Rings, things like that. And that is
Yeah.
actually very, very debatable, but at the same time, agreeable as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's it's human aspects, if you will.
Mhm.
Like they're not throwing in it's quote unquote magic, but it's magic that can be quantified. It's magic that can be thought of. It's not just like boom, here's something absolutely crazy. It's like no, you have to take real world elements. Like they put a lot of study and a lot of research into this. Of like they literally have lists out of ways to do things or like what materials are
Right.
made out of. And I think that is being, looked at in a lot of different anime.
Right.
Yeah, I think it stands the test of time, and no matter what way you look at it.
We also get alchemy, right? Which is not, this is their one cheat code that they did do really well with, though, is alchemy is not this made up power system. It is something that has been talked about in history books as an idea of what alchemists were, and not just potion makers, but people have talked about turning metal into gold for years, right? That
Years.
this was this thing, right? And that what they did with the twist on it though to make it anime is so chef's kiss that I don't even know how to describe it. It is literally gigabrain to a new extreme. It transcends normal ideas and it takes them to a level that is not only relatable but also such good fantasy work that you can't help but dream of a world that you could exist in with these kinds of abilities.
Yeah. Yeah. The thought that you could just study and work your butt off and things can come true like that. Like that's the American way, if you will, right? Like
and also the American way
is.
because there's some taboos to it that can take you to a very, very dark place very quickly.
Yeah. I think an anime that is working along a kind of a style like this is Dr. Stone. Actually,
Yeah.
Have you completed Dr. Stone?
I've only finished season 1 and I'm a couple episodes into season 2, but I do like how they use science all the time. So much so that they have warning signals on the screen that's like, yo, this is actual science. Don't do this at home. It could actually lead to bad things. Bill Nye, the science guy. That's just every time. Science, science, science. That's how I feel when I watch that show.
He needs to start doing that. Yeah, they
Seriously,
need to start doing that.
Agreed.
But yeah, right. It's like you get those aspects of it, and I have no idea where the design of this show came from. But I'd like to think it started with something like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
Of like you see this power system, and the power system there is like, okay, do you got muscles or do you got brains? And that's it. And like you see it in this as well, right?
True.
It's like you got to be really smart, or you got to be able to put your weight behind it. And it's like these, they still have like the level up scenes and the level up episodes where they're like, all right, we got to grind and get better at our craft. And that's like literally go to the library.
Right. And
they're like, all right, we were stuck in a library for 3 months. That's how we leveled up. Like
and
we
they
read.
find a way to
Like,
make these moments where we're reading, we're researching, we're gaining knowledge to be true character development moments, right? It's not just, episode after episode of like BS. Everything ties together so well with the character development, with the world building, where we go from place to place, from room to literal room is something new, something more developing, something more interesting. It's incredible. We don't just go from one person's house to the next person's house in an instant. We do it and we actually have a reason while we're there. We have a reason to end where we were, or we have a reason to leave where we're heading. I'm getting so tongue twisted because it's just that damn good.
Yeah, I mean, even even the training arcs are phenomenal, and this is kind of the plot of it all. And I think I don't think a lot of these episodes would be as good. Obviously the writing's really good, but I think specifically the writing is good for the character development, and we can kind of pull both of these in of like good guys, bad guys. Right. Because even on our list, we had, and this is probably one of the only anime where I will have villains such highly regarded on my list. Obviously you're supposed to hate villains, and these people are like, I hate them. They're awful. Right. They're so scummy. But like, oh my gosh, it's so good to watch. Right. And I love to see it.
You love them at the same time. I mean, I think Scar's one of the few villains. I mean, Scar's maybe more of an anti-hero, honestly. He kind of
Yeah,
does really fit
anti-hero.
that, right? Scar is one of the few characters in the anime where you go from hating the guy to feeling so sorry for the guy that you want to see him win, even if it means that your main
Yes.
character is going to die for it.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's rare in anime.
Right.
Even now. People can't replicate that.
No. Scar's a one-of-a-kind character, I think. I don't think there's another
Fully agree.
Scar. And that
Not-
could be
not yet.
because I'm missing something. Maybe that's what Eren Yeager is at this point. We'll have to see how it all
Maybe.
finishes. But that's the only person that can really get me there in that kind of retrospect. Like, I loved Eren for so long, and now I freaking hate Eren.
Yeah. I mean, you can put it like, it's different, but see if you can get there with me, right? Whereas Scar is similar to a Vegeta. We're like, you freaking hate that guy.
Yeah.
What a douchebag.
No, I can get there with you on that.
And then you just keep moving through the story, and you're like, holy cow, this guy's awesome.
Right.
And obviously, he became one of the good guys. Like, he is now 100% a good guy. But that's not where he started. It took a long time for him to get there. And if we don't see that, like if Dragon Ball Z was still coming out, like, we don't get to see him become the good guy yet. And that could be where Scar kind of was at that point.
Right.
In the character development. And who knows, maybe we got a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Sisterhood season 12 type deal, remake 14. We would see Scar leveling up and being a good guy, but he didn't. He ended as, I think, anti-hero is probably the best category to put him in.
Yeah, I think that we really get to see Scar take these transitions, so much so that Scar even pushes Edward's understanding of alchemy to a new level. Makes Ed really start to try to understand himself more than trying to understand alchemy and what's actually been happening with the military the entire time. And is the military good or is it actually bad? You know, there's so many things that are happening there that you really do get pushed so many different directions, right? And it's more of like a common ground. It's the necessary evil, right? That's kind of what it becomes. But again, I don't know, it does a lot of bad stuff. They do a lot of bad stuff, the State Alchemist. A lot of bad stuff. A lot of bad stuff.
But I mean, a lot of that stems from like my number 3 pick in the top 5, right? Of King Bradley. Of like, he is the good guy. He is the savior. He is the guy that people look up to. They strive to be, and they listen to him. He is the most well-respected man in the almost, the entire world is what it seems like, right?
Right.
And yeah, he is not a good guy. He is a very bad man. And it's like, you don't see that until the end. And so a lot of things, the State Alchemy is almost blindly following a man who is actively trying to destroy the world. And it's, it's those plot twists are obviously we'll come to those, but it's just really fun to see that you're like, okay, are these good guys? Well, yes, but they're following a bad guy and they're doing a couple bad things. And so are they bad guys? Well, they're not trying to be, but they kind of are.
The question is King Bradley still himself once he fuses with the Philosopher's Stone? Or does what corrupts him? I
don't know.
And those are like the deeper
Great
levels
question.
of thinking that FMA does so well of constantly pushing you to. And something else that I wanted to touch base on another anime that does start to really push the bar for top animes and just quality and storytelling, and you actually haven't gotten to watch this one yet, but I really hope you do, which is Mob Psycho 100. It was on the list for our discussion this week. We threw a lot of ones up on there for this vote for the fact that we had them actually in the idea of, could this be the top anime? And I do think that Mob Psycho 100 is probably the top anime in the last 5 years, in my opinion. It is that dang good. And I would love for you to give me some feedback once you get through some of it. It's the same creator that made One Punch, but it's his story instead of his
better
joke.
than Attack on Titan.
Oh,
okay, but it's up there. Oh, I don't
that's
need
close.
an actual answer, but it's up there, right?
Yeah, no, that's close. Like I would really have to sit down and start breaking things down bare bones.
You know what? No, give me an answer right now. Don't you dare get out of this. How dare I let you get out of this?
Yeah, you almost let me out as a co-host. That would be weird. Because it's completed and it has a really good ending. Yes. I'll say it.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me tell you all the reasons why you're wrong. No,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I haven't seen it, so I got nothing.
It's that good.
Okay.
Yeah, Mob's an awesome character. Again, it kind of reminds me of what the artist does and the manga director, right? The person that created the anime, the manga. They do so much with One Punch Man in terms of this kind of being like this off shot like thing that just became an overnight phenomena, that they needed to have something that was their storytelling. And I feel that's so similar to our creator of Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho, where Yu Yu Hakusho is not like a meme, I wouldn't say like One Punch is, but it's incomplete. It's a very incomplete show in comparison to Hunter x Hunter for me. And I'm gonna get some gripe from my Yusuke fans, but that's just how I feel. Gon is a better character.
I don't even know what you're talking about, man.
I'm
I'm lost over
here. Are you a
here.
Yu Yu Hakusho fan at all?
Yeah.
Are you a Hunter x Hunter fan?
We've talked about this behind the scenes. Yeah, I think Yu Yu Hakusho, and we disagree on this, and we don't have to get into it now. This could be a whole different episode.
Yeah.
But I think Yu Yu Hakusho is better than Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, you're wrong. Anyways, moving back to what this episode's about, which is Full Metal. We did rant a little bit there. I'm ranting for once. I'm the ranter this time. Yeah, no, we have, and maybe we'll have that debate as like a special episode. That could be part of the Vegas together episode where we just go deep on some stuff.
We're just ripping each other apart, and then we go get some barbecue afterward.
Korean barbecue where we bond over it.
That's right.
Oh, that could be the one time I drink something. I might need to drink some soju to be okay at that point. Shee!
Oh my gosh.
Anywho. So, where we were at, though, was talking about how good the villains really are. And the villains are incredible. I mean, the villains are so good, right? That you can't help but think that they're even some of the best characters in all of anime. That's how good these villains are.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
World building.
This is I'm gonna bring us a little bit into, we can dive back into world building in a second, but I want to bring us into like with the villains. There are so many iconic moments with that, and we've talked about these, and I put a few of them down, but they're just so good, and it's what makes these villains so amazing. We haven't talked about one of the greatest characters, and probably on a lot of people's top lists. Neither of us put him on there, but May Hughes. Right? One of the best characters in the show.
Facts.
Like everyone loves him. He was designed for people to absolutely love this character. Everything about him. He's the best father. He is the best coworker. He's an amazing person. Shot down in episode 6?
Episode 6.
And like that starts like you love this guy.
Yeah.
And then that starts the snowball if you're like, holy crap, I hate these villains. And then the villain story arcs, keep continuing. Like, I freaking hate these villains, man. They're so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Like, I really wish that we could get like Malkiper to be May Hughes in a Full Metal live action, because who else looks as similar?
Yes.
That'd be the perfect cast.
I'm down with it.
That'd be the perfect cast. Just throwing it out there. If we could get Netflix to do a Full Metal live action series, I would die happy the next day.
Hey, I'm blanking on this, so help me with this analogy real fast. But is this, because we talked about, is this one of the greatest shows of all time? Not just anime shows.
Mm-hmm.
Would you consider season 1 of Game of Thrones? Spoiler alert for Game of Thrones. If anybody hasn't watched it, it's been like what?
Spoilers!
But hey, the end of, you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I've only seen like season 1.
Oh, that's too bad.
But I know the season 1 ending, which is the King of the North dying.
Yeah, Ed.
Right?
Yeah.
The beloved character.
Edward Stark.
What's his name?
Killed.
Edward Stark. Yeah.
Yeah.
The beloved character, the man that everyone wanted to be. Everyone loved this guy. He was a good father, a good leader, everything. Is that not like the exact same as May Hughes dying?
Yeah,
like,
that's up there.
It's the same feeling.
That's a heart wrencher. You're making me sad, dude. You're making me sad. Maybe I'm the one that needed the tissues.
That's right. If you combine those two, right? If they happened at similar time frames, like if both of those happened today,
Yeah.
They would be up there. I don't think one would be better than the other. They were so good.
Agreed.
Impossibly. Obviously, I have no idea, but since this came out years and years before him, there could have been some help with that. Like this scene of like, oh, they killed off the best character really, really well.
Right.
Let's try to mimic a character that is so beloved, and then let's kill him.
Yep.
Hey,
let's
right?
build
Like,
it. Let's
you
build
have
it.
to
Let's
look at
build
stuff
it.
like that.
And now you're
Yeah.
crying in your own tears, showering
Love
with
it.
them. And then after, like right before that, I believe this is right before that, is the whole Nina Alexander moment, right?
Yes.
Which is,
Wait, right before that?
is it right before or right after?
After.
It's right after.
I believe.
Okay, it's right after. I
Mhm.
thought they meet up with Hughes and then Hughes gets killed right after the Nina incident. I thought Hughes was the one that comes
Go
and
ahead,
cleans it up.
continue though.
But regardless, they're very close to each other, and this was one thing that we were talking about while we were building out our storyboard. Was that what does this anime do so much better than others? And if it was in today's social media era of anime, how many of these moments would have broken the internet? Similar to when Demon Slayer
Yes.
has its pop-off moments. Especially
Episode
when
4.
we see it's episode 4 is when it
Episode 4, so
that's
you
what I
were
thought.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
right
like,
before.
I'm pretty sure it happens right before Hughes goes and cleans it up, gets called out by Bradley, gets killed.
Crazy.
It's like one shot after another shot. They're kicking you while you're down. Your teeth are falling out. The tooth fairy's not real. Oh God, spoiler.
Ah!
Anyways,
Yikes! Yikes!
it's tough. It hurts. It's the
Yes.
worst. You don't want it. You don't want any of it, but you can't stop watching it. That's the thing. Your traumas don't even exist anymore, and you're watching fictional characters, and you're feeling for them. You're trying to pick up the pieces. You're trying to comfort Ed. You're trying to comfort Al. Al just stops talking to Ed for a period of time.
Yes. Yeah, and I love how you preface that of would these stand the test of time today? Like, would they break the internet today? Would they stop things today? Would it be a trending tweet today? Because this happened, back in 2010 when, like, yes, the internet was popping off for some of these things, not like it is today.
There wasn't social media. There wasn't this idea of my opinion matters.
Correct. Like, if this happened during the height of people sitting at home, like if this happened in 2020, 2021, like, would it have just destroyed people? And I think so. I think this would have been one of the hype moments of all of anime. I think you have
agree.
the Alexander fusion. I think you have the death of May Hughes where it started. And I think to top it all off, the cherry on top, the one that really just blew up the internet is Envy's death at the hand of Mustang. I think that is one of the greatest things, the most satisfying things you could ever have in anime.
Oh, Envy's the one that kills Hughes. That's right. I kind of forgot about that. Envy's death is insane. That fight is insane. That fight is definitely...
I didn't see a fight, but yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's a fight in some degree.
It's a lot of fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's Hughes popping off, but it's still a fight scene in some regard. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole build-up for it is what I'm getting at, right?
I'm with you.
But, yeah, it's a terrible day for Rain. Oh, my God.
Ugh.
Oh, my heart. Oh.
Yeah, it's just like, because that's one of the episodes, and you had Hawk pretty high.
Yeah.
Right? That's an episode that, like, really
That's
stood
why.
the test of her as well.
She pops off.
It's like, oh man.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, she helps so much just bringing him back to Earth. And not only that, but like it made, Mustang was a great character, made him an even better character. And then you really this is episode 6 where he dies was one of the most painful episodes. And then you get the next one, or, you get episode whatever, 50 something.
Right.
Where he gets the revenge and you just feel it all again. You're like, oh my gosh, the pain.
Right. And for me as well, I think another big thing that blows my mind, and the fact that you didn't write this down is just eye-opening. It really is. It is. It's okay. It's okay. Because you knew I was going to touch it because of the fact that Scar is my top one. And I think Scar's backstory, what happens in the Ispalan War, the search for the Philosopher's Stone and its true creation and how it has to be done, is one of the most destroying moments in anime. One of the most it is absurdly disgusting, grotesque what they do to the Ishbalan people. Scar has every right, and every feeling that Scar is feeling is valid to want to go and slaughter all alchemists that exist, especially state alchemists, people that stand for a virtue that says they're better than others because they have a freaking pocket watch. I wanted to call it a stopwatch. That's not what it is.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, because that is the greatest scene, if you will, of all of Full Metal Alchemist, right? Yeah. Is when you realize, because everything led up to that, and once you see it, once you realize what it is heart-wrenching. It is just, you realize how disgusting the world actually is, right?
Right.
And it's like kind of similar to today,
right?
But like, it's, the world's disgusting. It's a disgusting place, and you feel it in this anime. You're like, wow, this sucks. And these characters now have to live with that. They have to realize it, and watching the progression then afterwards of, what are we going to do with this information? Now we have it. Like, we're not supposed to have this information. We have it. What in the world do we do? Do we tell people? Do we not tell people? Do we get rid of it again? People are going to look for it again, but like, oh my gosh.
Right. There's a reason why this information is very hard to find. There's a reason why Marcos is off the freaking map. You can't find him. He doesn't want you to find him. He's not happy with himself. Marcos is the equivalent to probably like the people that dropped the first nuclear bombs in my mind. Like, that's what that guy's going through in his mind.
Yes.
Right? Like, he annihilated an entire freaking race. And
feels real bad.
It's messed up. It's crazy. It's absurd. And that's how this anime continues to push its boundaries and showcase that it might very well be the best anime ever made, because of the fact that it has the most relatable story to true times that we're experiencing, not just now, but back in the 2010s, maybe even further back in history, right? It really does.
Way further back. The Second World War, the First World War, like, it really stands the test of time. This devastation, if you will.
Right.
Like, it happens. We're humans, and this is such a human aspect of the show. You're like, oh man. Like, you can feel for it. Like, you can feel it because it's happened in history. Like, we can read about it. And it's disgusting. It's like, holy cow, this is real. Like, and the way they portray it with the characters is so realistic. It's so in your face of like, oh my gosh. Like, Edward is devastated.
Right.
He has no idea what to do.
No, so true. So true. And there's just so many fantastic moments. The more that we talk about it, the more it's all coming back to me.
Yep.
Gluttony even has so many epic moments as just being a bozo.
Yes.
But is so overpowered too at the same time.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, the combo of gluttony and lust is so great. And it even like starts to play with the idea of what happens in the movie Seven. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. But what's in the box?
What's in the box?
And it's just, it's incredible. They do so many good things and tie everything together so well that if I had to rank Full Metal, we'll have to do that at the end of this show, because that's probably where we're going to go with that exact thing. One thing I do want to talk about, though, that we have been kind of shying away from a little bit, because I don't think it's that big of a topic. I think that anyone that's seen Brotherhood understands why it is in fact elite, and why FMA, the original, is not. Because it's not made up. There's not just this off the rails bullshit. And what made me instantly get there, and I will cuss on that one, because it's that bad. It is that bad with what they did.
Not great.
They took a train, we were riding it. It was a great, things were awesome. And then out of nowhere, they're just like, yo, we're in World War II. We're fighting Nazi zombies. The world without alchemy is actually the other world through a door that gets us there. So how do we get back to the world that we used to live in? Let's make a movie about it, man.
Yep. Yeah, and for context for anybody who doesn't know, Full Metal Alchemist was started being written based off the manga, and then it outpaced the manga. And so they wrote for themselves. They did not, it wasn't the true story. It was just whatever the studio decided it was going to be. They took kind of a weird turn.
Bronze Age of anime.
The anime finished before the manga did. And then now we have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood because they went back and made the manga, which was a great choice. Go back and do what the manga was because he took his time on it. He didn't rush it because the studio said, hey, we need episodes. He decided, no, I'm going to take my time with this anime. It's good enough. And it was
Agreed.
Great choice. Agreed. Finish it. Don't force it. And yeah, so on to your point of, yes, that is why Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is mostly talked about, is because it is the manga. Or at least as close as you could get to the manga, right?
Right.
With animation and whatnot. But yes, it's the manga. Full Metal Alchemist. It's weird because it was rushed. They just had to slap something together. And what better to slap in there than Nazis, right? That's what they thought, anyways.
Yeah, what a weird twist. What a weird way to go. I was so lost, man. I remember watching that show when I was a freshman in high school, trying to figure out what the heck was happening in that ending, and I've never been more disgusted. It was almost as bad as what they did with Bleach, man. It was almost as bad. It really was.
I think it was worse.
Yeah, you're right. It was worse. It was worse. It was so much worse. It wasn't good. It was we had the rug pulled out from underneath us, and then while we were still trying to catch our landing, the rug was pulled out from underneath us again. We broke our necks on that fall. It was awful.
Yeah, they made up for it, though.
They sure did. The remake, elite.
Yep. Let's talk about the beginning of the story, if you will. Because we hadn't brought this up, and I really wanted to.
Okay.
One of the most iconic items in all of anime. Obviously, it's not up there with like the Pokeball, or things like that, things that are just worldwide. But with anime, this, the Don't Forget October 3rd is up there with all of anime, right? Of seeing that, and there's a whole day for it. It's the one day where anime fans and Mean Girls fans can come together, right?
True.
That's our day.
True.
And it's pretty cool, right? Because he focuses, the whole story is just remembering his mom. And that's where a lot of their alchemy started, was trying to bring back their mother. Did not go well for him. Or did it? Because that's what really made them who they were. I don't think they get to the spot they are if they didn't fail that miserably. And so
they also don't have Winry building out metal,
Yes.
Artificial arms and legs.
Do we not meet Winry? If this, no, wait, they were friends.
Yeah, we were friends
right?
growing up. Yeah.
Okay.
But does Graham care about us as much if she doesn't raise us? Does Graham
hates us?
No, she doesn't.
I'm just kidding.
No, she doesn't. She loves the boys. She loves the boys maybe more than she loves Winry, dude. Let's be straight up.
She loves the boys.
Yeah, she loves the boys. She yells at Winry so much. Do more walk.
Winry, what are you doing?
Winry.
Yeah, absolutely. But right, like that is to have an item in anime. I think it's hard.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, to have an item that is so iconic.
I feel like the
people around there are like, yes, I know what that's from instantly.
Is up there as well, right? For
Ed, what was it?
His red coat, like his trench coat.
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, and then the armor's up there as well, but it doesn't. I don't think it stands on the same level.
Right.
Like if you have to pick one item from Full Metal Alchemist. You got to pick the
it's the date.
Like, I want to call it a stopwatch.
Yeah. The pocket watch is up there.
Thank you.
The Alchemist pocket watch is up there. Right, yeah, I know. It's where my brain wants to go too. It's how you know we're dated, dude. We need to get back to the old times. We need to stop thinking about what our cell phones have and what people used to use, right?
True.
What were you as a conductor? What did you have that made you a conductor on the railroad? A pocket watch that said so. And I think that's where they got the idea.
Quick little fun fact, I actually have a pocket watch from my great-great-great-grandfather. It's the only family heirloom that's been passed down.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty fun.
That's really
It might be worth $2. I have no clue. I've never taken it in. I probably never will because I don't want to know what it's worth.
Right.
If it is worth a lot, then it'll be tempting.
That's what it is. That's its worth. It's priceless. It's a family heirloom. No different
than the
fact
if it's not worth a lot.
I got
Which, like,
gifted
you know,
one.
when my father gave it to me, he's like, sell it, trade it, keep
Yeah.
it, give it to your son. Don't care what you do with it. It is yours.
I like that.
Like, make sure you know that it's yours. Do whatever you want with it.
I
so
like
I'm
that
like,
a lot.
if we get into a pickle as a family, that's the first thing to go.
No. Oh
Say
no.
goodbye.
Not like this. You're gonna
Goodbye.
get the Stanley Yilnats curse, dude. You're gonna have
Listen,
to carry some old
nobody
lady
will
up a
ever
mountain.
know. No, nobody will know what's going. My great grandfather doesn't care anymore. He's like, sell it.
I don't know, man. He might be like, "Oh, that swine honey bear."
Before I sell it, I'll engrave in there. Don't forget October 3rd, 2011.
Brilliant. I like that strategy. I like that
Sell it
strategy
away.
a lot.
There you go. Anyway, sorry to cut you away from your point.
I think that's a really, really good spot to be. The show has so many iconic pieces and dates and ideas that are symbolic and relatable that I think that you could start almost anyone on Full Metal, and that would make them fall in love with anime. It's one that got me into anime on a level. Yeah. I've had friends watch it completely out of context that were never a fan of anime. And the thing is it's actually really good dubbed and subbed. It's actually great both ways. Mm-hmm. They did a really good job on this show to where you could watch it either way, and I think it's still a 10 out of 10 from those, like, from just that standpoint in terms of audio quality, in terms of visual quality, all the things that you want out of an anime to recommend a new viewer to. That's what makes this anime probably top the charts and why it has such a cult following. And that's kind of one of the last things I really want to dive into a little bit. Is the cult following what makes it not able to truly be number one?
I'm going to go with no on that, just because I think you can stay away from the cult following, right? I think you can tone it out. I think you can get rid of it. You can remove it from your vision.
Okay.
And just absorb the anime for what it is. I don't think you have to fall into that. I think it's easy to find because they're loud.
Oh yeah,
right?
They're very loud.
They're loud. So I think it's easy to
dare we say One
fall
Piece
into
is the
that.
Best. Dare we say it?
Right, but it's also easy to just tune them out. Like you can tell if they're just like mindless. This is the best. There's no way around it. You can't ever argue it. Like, okay, instant out of view. There's no conversation with you to be had. And so with that, I think it's easy to just step away from and just see this anime for what it is. So I don't think that you can use that against it to bring it down that far. I don't know. What do you think?
I would agree to some points. I think that there is a level of an anime elitist that happens with it, where if you don't say it's number one, then your opinion doesn't matter anymore. Some people have the same effect with One Piece. Some people have the same effect with Naruto. Some people say this about how DBZ is so good that it better be in your top 3, or what are you even saying? But
Evangelion is another cult following.
Yeah,
it's smaller, but
it does. Same. It does have a cult following as well, and that's kind of what makes it fall down on a lot of people's lists. Also, there are some of us that can't watch anime that's, predated from 2007. Looking at Honey Bear here, looking at you.
Hey, I watched it.
Looking at you.
I watched it.
Anyways.
What do you mean?
Yeah, okay, let me know when you finish Cowboy Bebop, and then we can talk, okay?
That's a 1980 anime.
It's 1997, dude.
Cowboy Bebop.
1980. What, bro? 1980 is like
from 2007. It's a 1997 anime.
1980. That's like Astro Boy.
Dragon Ball came out in the 80s.
Yeah, Dragon Ball has some tropes that are like the most sus things ever. That's why I'm like, how do you have this as top anime for some people? Roshi's a creep, man, but he's a great character.
Very big creep. Listen, man, I can't handle the animation from the 1990s, all right? If it's pre-2000, I might not watch it again.
Maybe you should watch a Daft Punk music video. It might help, man. It might help.
Pre-2000. You put me at 2007, I'm putting it at 2000. If it's before 2000,
Okay.
Probably not watching it.
All right. I mean, that is when Samurai Champloo came out around there, 2000,
I watched it.
2005. Same directors. Maybe you should give Cowboy Bebop a chance.
Listen,
Anywho,
man, every
this isn't
single
about
year,
Cowboy
the year
Bebop.
is increasing. 2001 next year. 2002 the year after that.
Okay. Perfect.
I'll keep my 23-year gap.
As your daughter gets older and Uncle Z-Boy gets closer, I'll be like, yes, you must watch the Bebop.
You're gonna be like 45 years old, finally come meet my daughter, and you and her are gonna be sitting on the couch eating
I hope
Cheerios,
I'm not 45. That's
watching
14 years from now, dude. What the heck?
I don't know, man. What you gonna get anime? I don't know. I'm not gonna force her into anime.
Yeah, you're right. You're not. You're right.
You guys,
That's my job, dude.
like Uncle Z-Boy and Jade are on the couch eating Cheerios, watching Cowboy Bebop again.
Auntie Aurora coming through, being, what are you doing, Tanner? Why are you watching anime with a child? I'll be like, because it's the best. Look how good of a child she's being. How else are you supposed to make them be good?
Hey,
I don't know.
It will be a very proud day if we can sit down and start at episode 1 of One Piece. Very proud day. Oh
God, yes. I know that wife bear will be jaded, but that's okay.
No, not yet, right? Because
did you like how I did that? You like how I did that?
At that point, we get 10 years, right? If I get 10 more years of the live action, hey man,
true,
could be good. She watched it with me.
I'm getting the yawns. This ain't good, man. I needed to drink more caffeine, but that's okay.
All right, we gotta finish this up. We gotta roll through it. All right, I'm gonna go to the big point here. All right. So I'm gonna break it down and say we've talked through power systems, character development, villains, world building, storylines, plot twists, memorable moments. We've covered all of it.
It's got waifus too. Don't forget. It's got waifus. Winry.
It's got one waifu.
I mean, dude, Lust is a waifu.
Yeah, you know what? All right, I'll give it to you. Sadly, I'm gonna give that to you.
Yeah, some people like being stepped on. I know we don't. We're fragile. We're fragile lads
I feel
over
good
here.
About that one, but
don't. Yeah. Please don't step on me. Please, Aurora,
I don't feel good about it.
When we make this clip, we don't like being stepped on. You're not gonna catch us at the cons walking up to the booths that say, "Step on me, Papa." Like, no, none of that. None of that. None of that for me. None of that for Honey Bear. We're fragile. We're gentle.
Oh, what's the master's name?
Oh, teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, teacher's a waifu.
Azumi.
Yeah, teacher.
Right?
The teacher. That's what Alpha.
Waifu Hawkeye, waifu Azumi.
Oh, Hawkeye's a waifu.
What?
Boom.
My goodness.
Boom.
Easy.
Wow, we did it. Anyways, let's get back on
I mean, we hit, like, okay, before we can move on.
Also, you forgot about the major. Wait, you forgot about the greatest waifu in the series, though.
I have to ask a question before we do this.
He's a waifu.
Is the girl Armstrong or I can't Olivier?
Olivier? It's Olivier. Yeah.
Or
Olivier.
Alex Lewis.
Who's the better
waifu?
Oh.
Who's the better waifu?
Oh.
Right? Both Armstrongs. Both blonde. Both jacked.
I mean.
It's gotta be Alex.
Yeah, it's gotta be Alex, right?
Gotta be.
I mean, he's got
Mr. Armstrong himself.
He's got the little shims. You know? He's also not just... He's not the Ice Queen, right? Like, he's got heart. He's not just out here...
He's got the mustache. Is he Braum? Is he Braum without the shield?
He left the cold. He couldn't handle the cold. That's why he's not Braum. That's
I
why
think
he's
he
not
can handle
Braum.
the cold. This man walks around with his shirt off all the time.
Why does he not stuck with his sister out there? Because he didn't like the cold. That's why he's in the sunny south.
There is. Yeah, we can all agree he's rank 1 waifu.
Yeah, rank 1 waifu.
Rank 1. Sorry, Lawrence.
Yeah, Winry, you're okay.
Winry's number 2. She knows she's number 2.
Yeah, I love Winry, though. She's such a good character. She's such a good character.
Yeah, she knows she's number 2.
And to the main point.
So, we've talked about all these topics, right? And I don't think, there's possibility that they are rank 1 on some of these, right? They probably aren't rank 1 on all of them, But I would have to say what makes this the best anime of all time is it can take all of these aspects, all of these types and you know, oh my goodness, plots of anime, if you will, points of anime that are extremely important to everybody, and they top the list or at least make top 3 on every single one of them, which is the reason why I will put them as the number 1 anime of all time. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Nobody's touched it yet, and I think honestly it's going to be really hard to touch it because it was a little bit shorter. People weren't demanding more episodes. They weren't demanding it faster. He took his time. He wrote an amazing story, and it hits every single box extremely high, no matter who you are.
It's definitely it at this point in time, I would say it's at least got to be top 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be top 2. If it's not in the top 3, you're probably wrong. You should probably take a shower, maybe go touch some grass, come back, watch Full Metal Alchemist for the 10th time. Brotherhood, that is. Don't watch the normal one. You're wasting. Yeah, you're wasting your time there.
Stay away.
That's basically like watching 4Kids episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. You're wasting your time. But I do have it in my top 3 all time, if not my top 1. That's just me being a little nitpicky because of, like I said, the elitist of a cult following that it has. But that might just be the problem with my anime list and maybe my least of my opinion on the fan base. I haven't met enough fans that are out there that are yelling at me like there are One Piece fans. I didn't like One Piece like we talked about, but I've always loved Full Metal Alchemist. And it might be the best anime to actually get somebody into anime with because of its relatability. Its plot twists are so good and so jaw-dropping that they no doubt would break the internet today, time and time again. Not just 1 week, not just 2 weeks, not just 3 weeks, but for many years to come as the memes that get created from the show still today break the internet in this time.
Yeah.
I would say this show is a perfect 10 out of 10. I would say that.
They use the Alexander and the Nina and the Dragon Ball memes, anything that fuses.
Oh, yeah.
They toss that in there, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, I use it for Valentine's Day. Don't ask me why.
Anywho, yeah, I think it has to be up there. I think if you don't put it up there, I do think you're too clouded. You're too, stuck in your own ways. You're bringing your own thoughts into it, if you will. You're bringing your own agenda to the table and saying, no, it's not the best because I like waifus. It's like, well, no, we're not asking you what you like, right? It's what is the best, what is objectively the best, what's got, hitting every point that you can make. And we've made strong arguments for every single point that we could come up with. If there's another category that you're like, no, this category has to be considered when choosing the greatest anime of all time, let us know. Let us know we missed a category. Yep. Because we hit quite a few of them. And I think they're pretty dang good categories.
I agree.
Maybe we could be like, oh, well, what about art style? Be like, pretty dang good for 2010.
Pretty good art.
Pretty good for 2010.
Art's still pretty good to today's time, right? The visuals, I kept saying that. I was like, the visual quality is still very, very good. Yes. It's very good. It's
holding on.
It does. It does a good job. And even if it got a remaster, not a remake, but a remaster, it doesn't even need that.
Not yet. Definitely does not need it yet.
I don't think it's at a time where animation's gotten to so good to so far past what it was then that it needs a remaster. I like the fact that it's, got that hand drawn. It's got that true storyboard moments to it.
Yeah. Like, what was it? Yu Yu Hakusho's getting the remaster, right?
Yep. 2024 next year.
Confirmed.
Live action. That's an anime. We have a live action for it coming out, by the way, here next month.
Yeah, that's an anime. I love that anime, and a lot of people do, right?
Yeah.
But I will not tell you to go watch that. Do not go watch that anime. It's too old.
It's pretty good.
It's too old.
It's pretty good. I rewatched it recently.
Can't watch it as much anymore. But if you've never watched it before, it's your time's passed. Just let it go.
No, classics are called classics for a reason, honeybee.
I'm not watching it.
It's called a classic. Do you watch classic film?
Yeah, yes, I do, but there's too many good things out there. I'm gonna spend my time watching better things.
I can't. All right.
Well, wait, hang on. Do you watch which version of Hunter x Hunter do you watch?
2011 remake.
Anywho,
That's because the old version's trash, dude. The fights don't look good. They look like they're falling. The original version of Hunter x Hunter looks like the characters are falling off of the frame.
Look at me,
dude.
I'm Z-Boy.
Okay, you're like watching these characters fight, and like Kurapika's mouth doesn't move with what he's saying at times. Like there's some issues there. Okay. But what I will say is this: outside of Honey Bear's hot takes and bad takes at that, he watches dubbed anime. So we love him for that, and he's our side of that take of that coin, and everybody gets to have one. I mean, you're roasting me. That's what we do here. We roast. We love each other. Don't worry, guys. Until you see us throw hands, which will never happen. That's not how we work. We're not violent people. We're lovers. Wait. Okay. We love. Yeah. Wait a second. We love each other on a very platonic level. He has a wife. I have a partner. We both love them. All right. But most importantly, if this episode gets 50 likes on YouTube, what do you want to say we're going to do? Honey Bear, do you have an idea? I have one. Do you have an idea, Honey Bear, if we get to 50 likes? I just want to give you the ground here because I want to see if maybe one of your bad takes is going to take this over. Maybe you'll get us to 50
If we
likes.
get 50 likes?
Yeah.
Like, are we talking like in real person? Or are we talking like anime type deal?
What? Wait, what?
Okay, if this gets 50, like, are you talking about like I got a tattoo?
No, yeah. Oh, anime.
7.5
Yeah. No. 200 or something like that would be like where we were pushing that. Yeah. 50 likes for what we do with next episode.
Okay, I can't leave it at 50. You know, all right. I'll put it at 50.
What do you? I mean, we haven't even broke 20 yet,
finish. Man. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
You're gonna like this. I will finish Cowboy Bebop.
All right, if this gets 50 likes, he will finish Cowboy Bebop. That'll be our anime of the week discussion. Next week's episode, make sure you follow us on Twitter. All right, that's me and Honey Bear on Twitter. It's ZBoyWonder on Twitter. The Real Honey Bear on Twitter. You might catch us discussing what next week's episode is on there. Join the Discord. You can find it in my Twitter bio. On top of that, I think we're wrapping this one up. You got any last words, Honey Bear? You got anything else you want to throw out there for the people? For our listeners?
Attack on Titan is a 5 out of 10.
That's a hot take. That is a hot take. We'll have to see how this final episode comes out. It's right around the corner. We might be talking about that one in not so long either. It will be an episode coming at you fast. Yu Yu Hakusho as well. Might have to do the great debate. Which is better? Yu Yu Hakusho? Hunter x Hunter. You'll have to find out next time on Otaku Social Club. That's going to be it from me, Z-Boy, and this guy here, the cutest of the cute, that real Honey Bear man. Let's get it. It's a sayonara from us, and we'll see y'all next time.
See ya!